Well, you're ready to replace the caliper on your Ford F-150. And you know, it's not as easy as just taking some bolts out and slamming a caliper on there. I want to show you some tips and tricks along the way. So welcome to this video, brake caliper installation and tips. Well, it all starts at the caliper. What is it? What does it do? Well, you're looking at it right there. Hydraulic pressure squeezes the pad, squeezes the rotor, and stops the car. You can have fixed or sliding calipers, makes a big difference. Now here's what's going on. Fluid behind the piston, they're self-adjusting, so when the pads wear out, it's going to move. Now the only thing pulling it back over there on the right is called a square cut seal. Better yet, I have it right here. If you look at this square cut seal right here, what happens when the piston comes out, it deforms, and that little deformation is the only thing that's pulling that piston back in that caliper, so it has to be able to move. What do I mean by move? Well, I have some demonstrations here. You can see right here. They're either going to have sleeves, pins, or slides on slides. Either one, we have to do it. This one right here, well, this is a fixed caliper. So these are on a lot of Toyotas. This one doesn't have to move because it has pistons on all the sides. But these two here, this is actually a sliding caliper. Slides back and forth on these slides. So you have to lube them up as well and clean them. And then on our Ford F-150, here's the caliper right here. So if I unbolt this right here and we'll slide this up, take the caliper off. What's going to happen here is I can pull this out, and this is actually the slide. So you get your rag, clean that off, get you some good high temp brake lubricant, put it on there, and then you put it back in. You make sure that's flexible and moving. Why? Because I just said it, that piston has to move up and down. Now, I want to change gears a little bit. This is called an electronic caliper. Now, electronic caliper, new rules apply. You can't push that in with the C-clamp. You have to use what's called a retraction mode. And you can watch it right here on the screen. We actually ran one on a Chrysler van. To do it, we had to go into the driver information center. We just picked a display, and then we went through the display. Then we had to go in there. We had to find brakes. Pretty easy. So you click brakes. Once you did that, you want to put the car in service mode. You want that caliper to retract. Once it retracts, you can go ahead and work on the car. It's asking us there, do you want to retract? Well, yes, we do. All right, so be real careful. You don't want to go down there. You don't want to squeeze it. You don't want to use C-clamps. You want to make sure you do this retraction mode and you do it properly. If you don't, you're going to run into problems. All right, a couple other tricks for you. If you have these hangers here, make sure you support your caliper by these hangers or a bungee cord. You don't want stress on the hose. Now, you may run into a caliper that looks like this. This has an integral parking brake built into it. So you're going to have to get a special tool for this one as well and wind it in. It doesn't push in with a C-clamp. So be careful with what you're dealing with because you want to replace it and you want to replace it right. These tools right here, you can use these to push these other calipers back that either are not electronic or that are not have an integral parking brake. You can push the piston back normally with that. Now let's shift our gears a little bit and talk about some specifications. Rotors, while you're there, you might as well look at them. Our rotor, they have thickness, rotor thickness, lateral runout, thickness variation, all kinds of things going on. Take a look at this rotor right here. Customer wore this thing down, there's nothing left. Those fins are gone, way below the minimum specification. Stamped on this rotor somewhere, or go to your service manual information, is the minimum specifications right there. Minimum specifications. Make sure it doesn't fall below the minimum specifications. Get rid of it. Lateral runout, pedal pulsation. That pedal's going in and out. Problems with the system. You can see it right there. It's going to flex in and out. It's going to go ahead and hit that pad every single time. That causes disc thickness variation in and out. Then that causes pedal pulsation. You don't want that. So what do? You can measure lateral runout. You just get a dial indicator. You take it down to the rotor, hook it up. Once you get it hooked up to a fixed place, you can go ahead and put it on the rotor. Now, if you have a hubless rotor like that, you want to secure it with lug nuts. Put it on there, make sure that it's tight, zero your gauge. Once you zero your gauge, you can go ahead and spin that rotor around. And what you're doing is you're looking for any lateral movement in that rotor back and forth. Specifications usually are about 3/1000ths. Any more than that, it's going to cause a problem with that rotor. So you want to go ahead and replace it or cut it or do what you need to do. But check your manufacturer specifications before you do that. Now, one more thing left is bleeding the brakes. Once you take that thing all apart, you have to put it back together. You're going to have to bleed it. and that's a cumbersome process due to the fact that ABS and all the things in there with the nooks and crannies, it's hard to get the air out. So we can do that several ways too. You can use a vacuum bleeder, you can use a pressure bleeder, or you can use an actual bottle and just do manual bleeding. You may even have to use a scan tool, but you can see it right here on the screen. Gravity bleeding, well, that's just as simple as kind of opening up the bleeder and letting it bleed. Now remember, gravity, it goes down, so if the lines are going above the master cylinder, that won't work. Manual bleeding, pump, 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 two-person process. Put your bottle on, pump it up, open the bleeder, and then spray the fluid out till your pedal gets hard. Go from the wheels all the way around. Pump, 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 and open. You can actually use that bottle, and you can do that. Keep it, it's hygroscopic, it absorbs water, and it also eats paint, so don't get it on the floor. Vacuum bleeding, well, you can use a little vacuum like this here. Vacuum bleeder system, hook a shop air to it, pull the trigger, creates a vacuum. It's going to suck the fluid from the master cylinder, clean, down, and out. You can also use pressure bleeding. You can take the cap up on the top off. You can actually put a pressure bleeder up there, and when you put a pressure bleeder up there, it's right here. You're going to pump it up. The pressure is going to actually push down on the fluid and force the fluid down the master cylinder and out. So no matter how you bleed the system, you need to bleed it because air is compressible and liquid's not. You don't want a spongy pedal. Once you do that, or you may have to even use a scan tool to bleed it on some of the cars today. But once you do that, all we're going to do is go in there, get this caliper in tip-top shape, and you're not going to have any problems. I'm John Gardner. Thanks for watching.